that Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in American sports, bar none. No one else can do this. She's that big of a star that just showing up for a day, magnificent impact on the LPGA.
Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, the basketball sensation, steps onto a golf course and suddenly becomes the name everyone's talking about. The LPGA didn't just welcome her, they rolled out the red carpet, plastered her on social media, and set the stage for a show that had everyone buzzing. Meanwhile, the WNBA, crickets and tumbleweeds.
It is the fault of the WNBA because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season.
While the LPGA paired Clark with world #1 Nelly Korda, turning heads and making headlines, the WNBA sat back and let the moment pass them by. No tweets, no celebrations, not even a simple shout-out. You'd think Clark had vanished into thin air. This wasn't just a marketing failure by the WNBA. It was a glaring example of how not to run a professional league. A league that has struggled financially for years, missing out on the very opportunities that could draw more fans and revenue. The LPGA's playbook, on the other hand, was a masterclass in recognizing and leveraging star power. In this video, we're exposing 10 moments where the LPGA showed exactly how to treat a star like Caitlin Clark and made the WNBA look like they were stuck in high school varsity. Stick around as we have a surprise number 11 that will inspire you and a number 12 that will make you wish Clark went from Iowa and instead straight to the LPGA. If you think the WNBA fumbled Clark's rookie season, just wait until you see what they did or didn't do next. Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go.
And here's the other thing that I found fascinating. But they seem to have welcomed Caitlin Clark to the LPGA, and people are saying nice things.
When the LPGA announced Caitlin Clark's participation in their Pro-Am event, it was far from a quiet reveal. They turned it into a headline-grabbing moment, even leveraging on local and national news. The announcement resonated across social media and the sports world, generating excitement that reached beyond the typical golf audience. By tapping into Clark's growing fame, they ensured the event would be a must-watch for basketball and golf fans alike.
Well, it's quite amazing for a Wednesday. I mean, there's so many media here from all different sort of media aspects, local news, lots of reporters around that you normally wouldn't see on a Wednesday out here at an LPGA event. All the spectators are all waiting to get their final glimpse of Caitlin, hopefully a final autograph.
Contrast this with the WNBA's handling of Clark's rookie season. Despite her record-breaking performances and undeniable star power, their announcements were lackluster. Remember Clark's Rookie of the Year announcement? Right? It never happened. It was done in an empty gym with the trophy sent in via the mail. What should have been a high-energy celebration of a new era in the WNBA came off as just another Tuesday. The LPGA's big announcement wasn't just a press release, it was the first play in a winning strategy. They understood that promoting an athlete like Clark could pull in new viewers and create a buzz that extended beyond the event itself. Meanwhile, the WNBA's routine approach missed the opportunity to turn Clark's rookie season into a major event, an oversight that echoes why the league faces ongoing struggles.
Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
This was more than a missed marketing moment for the WNBA. It was a failure to run the league like a top-tier professional organization. And as the LPGA reveled in their success, the WNBA's silence only highlighted their inaction. But this was just the start of how the LPGA outshone them. The LPGA knew that the attention Clark brings will shine a light on the entire event, bringing new eyeballs to the sport. So what did they do? They paired her with Nelly Korda, the world's #1 golfer. This strategic move wasn't just smart, it was a statement. It showed fans and media that this was an event to watch. Clark and Korda side by side created a spectacle that transcended golf and turned heads. And new fans would see Clark alongside the best of what golf has to offer.
How is your jump shot?
It probably needs work. It's probably not that good.
Not that good?
Yeah, maybe I'll ask Kaylin for some advice, some tips. Next time we'll get together, maybe it'll be on a basketball court. Yeah.
Contrast this with the WNBA's handling of Clark's first season. Despite her standout achievements and unique ability to draw crowds, she was rarely featured in a positive light. Instead of embracing her as a breakout star, the WNBA seemed to treat her as one of many. Remember when the commissioner said this on live TV?
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
The LPGA's move was a perfect demonstration of the power of stardom and mutual greatness. By positioning Clark with Korda, they reached new audiences and showcased the top talent in women's golf. This wasn't just beneficial for Clark. It elevated Korda's profile and reinforced the LPGA's ability to spotlight their athletes. The event became a moment where both the players and the league shone. The WNBA, however, missed its chance to build similar buzz. Their cautious approach left Clark's potential untapped. The result? The LPGA made headlines, while the WNBA struggled to create memorable moments with their rising star. And this was just the start of how the LPGA outpaced them.
It's going to be, before the argument was, the league is much more than this one girl that came into the league,
right.
And we've established it, and hey, look at the numbers everywhere else across women's basketball. It's not just Caitlin Clark, it's all of us.
The LPGA understood that promoting Caitlin Clark's Pro-Am appearance couldn't just stop at announcements and pairings. It needed to dominate the digital landscape. As soon as Clark stepped onto the course, their social media accounts erupted with posts, photos, and videos. The LPGA made sure that fans couldn't scroll past without seeing Clark and Nelly Korda front and center. This consistent and engaging content captured attention far beyond the usual golf audience, creating a viral moment that kept people talking. Compare this to how the WNBA leveraged social media during Clark's rookie season, and the difference is glaring. Sure, there were occasional highlights and updates, but there was no coordinated effort to flood timelines with content that made Clark's season impossible to ignore. It was as if the WNBA was content to let her brilliance speak for itself, missing the chance to amplify it to the masses. Remember the time when the WNBA started promoting the playoffs? Their number one draw in Caitlin Clark couldn't even make it to the poster. The LPGA's approach showed the power of digital storytelling. By making Clark's participation a focal point, they drew in basketball fans, casual viewers, and even those who hadn't watched a golf event before. It was strategic, it was loud, and it worked.
There was so much buzz online, she was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event.
In contrast, the WNBA's quieter digital presence didn't capitalize on the momentum Clark created on the court. There were no behind-the-scenes videos, interactive fan polls, or viral social media moments designed to keep her at the forefront of fans' minds. It was Clark's own fans and the Indiana Fever that teamed up to showcase what Clark was all about. And the WNBA, radio silence. The LPGA's takeover was a lesson in how to use modern platforms to build excitement, showcase talent, and ultimately draw new fans into the sport. And just when you thought the LPGA was done, they pushed even further. Next, let's talk about their fan engagement strategy, one that put the WNBA's efforts to shame. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action.
It's in the car, actually.
Sorry about that. Okay. Thank you.
Yay!
The LPGA didn't just rely on social media and star pairings to captivate fans. They took fan engagement to a new level during Caitlin Clark's Pro-Am appearance. The event was designed to be interactive, with opportunities for fans to get up close with Clark, watch her play, and even grab autographs. This wasn't just a golf event. It felt like a celebration of crossover talent that resonated with everyone in attendance. The LPGA knew that if you want to build a dedicated following, you need to give fans moments they can be part of. I mean, look at this scene at the very end of Clark's performance.
Please, Caitlin. Please, Caitlin, could you please sign in, please? 24 years. Oh, John, you're a boy. Caitlin, please. Oh, my God.
Caitlin, nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Caitlin! Hung in there, you know. Let's go.
Now let's look at the WNBA's approach. Clark's debut season had all the ingredients for massive fan engagement, an exciting new star, record-setting performances, and a buzz that could have been leveraged to pull in more viewers. But the WNBA didn't create interactive experiences or highlight opportunities that would have brought fans closer to Clark. Where were the pre-game fan meet and greets, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, or promotional fan events? Those moments were few and far between, leaving potential connection points untapped. If any, it was all driven by the Indiana Fever, Clark's sponsors, or Clark herself. The LPGA's strategy showed that making fans feel like they're part of a special moment is what keeps them coming back. Whether it was watching Clark sign autographs, sharing a laugh with Nelly Korda, or taking photos with excited young fans, the event created memories that would last long after the last swing. The energy was palpable, and it turned casual viewers into invested followers. The WNBA's reluctance to facilitate similar engagement strategies left them lagging behind. While the LPGA harnessed Clark's appeal to create an inclusive and exciting atmosphere, the WNBA's passive approach was another missed opportunity in promoting not just Clark, but the league itself. Since we're talking about fans, how about the fans at home? How did the LPGA's strategic TV coverage make Clark's appearance even more impactful?
So the LPGA event is expanding its Pro-Am coverage around Caitlin Clark's participation. Golf Channel's Golf Today will begin 90 minutes early on Wednesday and include live look-ins. It has also been said that you will get to see Caitlin Clark's warm-up.
Broadcasting Caitlin Clark's Pro-Am debut wasn't an afterthought for the LPGA. It was a priority. Recognizing the potential pull of Clark's appearance, they adjusted their programming to feature live segments of her play. This decision wasn't typical for a Pro-Am event, making it clear that the LPGA knew they were sitting on a goldmine. Viewers who might not have tuned in for golf were suddenly watching, drawn by the mix of basketball and golf stardom. This move put Clark's crossover appeal front and center for a larger audience. Contrast that with the WNBA's approach during Clark's rookie season. Despite her standout moments on the court that should have been showcased with primetime coverage, the league's broadcasting felt standard, lacking any special features or tailored segments that focused on her. Clark's record-setting games and highlight reels could have been central elements to draw in casual sports fans, but the WNBA missed those opportunities. In fact, they scheduled the first 10 games as a gauntlet to purposely make Clark fail on live TV.
One of the marketing offices, they essentially admitted, I'm not going to quote, but they, a roundabout way, admitted they gave Caitlin Clark the gauntlet schedule because they didn't think she was going to be good, and they wanted her to get destroyed through 10 games so that people started watching the other players. Like, if anyone, she screwed over Caitlin more than anyone else.
The LPGA demonstrated that strategic broadcasting isn't just about filling airtime. It's about creating moments that resonate and pull in viewers. By featuring Clark in their TV coverage, they expanded their viewership and showcased the excitement of having a dual sport star. It was a statement that said, this is more than just golf. This is an event you can't miss. The LPGA showed what can happen when you treat a star as more than just another participant. Caitlin Clark's participation in the LPGA Pro-Am event wasn't just celebrated by the organizers. It was met with genuine excitement and praise from fellow athletes. Annika Sorenstam, a legend in the sport and host of the event, perfectly captured the sentiment when she said, "What Caitlin brings is more than just talent. It's her ability to draw new audiences and inspire them." This wasn't just a soundbite. It was a testament to the LPGA's understanding of Clark's star power and the respect she commanded from athletes across sports.
Well, first of all, we're thankful that she's here. I think she's been kind of the one on, when you talk about women's sports, she's kind of, other than Nelly, it's been Caitlin. And what she has done is amazing. And like you said, bringing other people into the sport. And golf has been, I think, quite a passion for her for quite some time. It just puts our tournament in a different limelight and just different excitement. They're streaming the Summit today. They'll be streaming the Pro-Am. I mean, things that we haven't seen before. Wherever she goes, she's been selling out. So hopefully we'll sell out here too. So we're excited about that.
Nelly Korda, Clark's playing partner and the world's top-ranked golfer, echoed this admiration. "It's refreshing to have someone from another sport who embodies the same competitive drive we do," she noted, highlighting the excitement and camaraderie Clark brought to the course. The LPGA leveraged these moments to draw attention to their players and show that Clark's involvement wasn't just a gimmick. It was an opportunity to spotlight the entire sport.
What's your hope of maybe a long-term relationship with Caitlin Clark and the LPGA? What do you hope comes from today?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's just great for the women's sports. I love that she has a love for the game of golf, and me, I've never really tuned into watching basketball before her, honestly. So I think it's just growing the interest in all of women's sports, and I hope that's what grows from this relationship.
Former champion Brittany Lincecum shared how thrilling it was to have Clark in their space. What she's done for women's basketball is phenomenal, and seeing her support us here is just incredible. I even brought a basketball for her to sign for my daughters, Lincecum said. These types of statements added authenticity and personal connection to Clark's presence, creating buzz that reached beyond the tournament. Andrea Lee and Megan Kong both showed how big of fans they were in a recent interview, hoping to cross paths with Clark during their tea time and grabbing selfies. Marina Alex and Lilia Vu were excited to see Clark firsthand and how the Caitlin Clark effect will bring more eyeballs to the sport. This layered praise from different athletes, veterans, champions, and rising stars created a unified message. Clark's participation was special, and everyone was on board.
Ran into Andrea Lee on the putting green, and she said, my tee time is at 7:10 a.m., so I'm hoping that overlaps well enough that I'll be able to get a picture. And then on the other side of that, Megan Kang said, oh man, my tee time is in the afternoon. There's no shot that I'm going to be able to catch her in time for a photo. And Marina Alex was especially excited because her locker is next to Caitlin's in the locker room. She said she walked in and saw there she was. She's got a placard just like all the LPGA players right next to her. So perhaps Marina can pick her brain as they're getting ready to head out to the golf course. And of course, you had to chat with Lilia Vu, who's the defending champion. The first thing she said to me was, oh my goodness, so excited that Caitlin's here. She's going to bring so many eyeballs to this week and to our game in general.
The WNBA missed a prime opportunity to create similar moments of unity. Public, enthusiastic support from seasoned players could have underscored Clark's importance to the league and inspired fans. Instead, the jealousy from players and the lack of league-driven efforts to feature these endorsements made it seem like the WNBA was still figuring out how to handle their emerging star. Remember this? By contrast, the LPGA proved that celebrating athletes and creating a culture of mutual respect and admiration doesn't just uplift one person, it elevates the entire sport. Clark's presence at the Pro-Am wasn't just about one star's crossover. It was a shared moment that highlighted the potential of women's sports as a whole.
That's the reason that you play. It's not because of the wins and the points you score. It's the amount of joy that you can bring people and the young girls that will one day grow up to hopefully, be whatever they want to be and get to talk about those moments too.
Now comes the fun part. At number 11, Caitlin Clark's participation in the Women's Leadership Summit, hosted by the LPGA, was more than just a symbolic gesture. It was a strategic move that underscored her role as an ambassador for women's sports. This event showcased Clark not just as an athlete, but as a leader with the power to inspire future generations. Annika Sorenstam, the event's host, praised Clark's influence, saying, Clark's commitment to supporting women's sports isn't just admirable, it's essential. She embodies what we strive for, building bridges and elevating each other. The summit provided Clark with a platform to speak about her journey, her drive to inspire young girls, and her passion for promoting women's sports. Her words resonated with attendees and viewers alike, positioning her as a voice for empowerment. The LPGA's decision to integrate Clark into this influential event showed that they recognized her value beyond the playing field.
I think the thing about leadership is how you approach every single person is going to be completely different. And I think the thing that's helped me be successful throughout my career has been the relationships that I've been able to build with people, and every single person you have to approach differently because they come from a different background, they come from a different place. Somebody can be a little more tenderhearted, and for me, I probably want to be screamed at. It's just everybody's a little bit different. So I think that's what's unique about leadership and being able to understand people, but that takes time, and building relationships is really important.
Has the WNBA ever given Clark this kind of a platform? Despite having a star who could inspire discussions about leadership, representation, and ambition, the league did not showcase her in significant, high-profile engagements such as this. There were no leadership panels, no headline appearances at major events to amplify her voice, and no attempts to position her as an ambassador for the sport's future. It was a missed chance to add depth to her brand and align her with the values that resonate with fans. By highlighting Clark's participation in the Leadership Summit, the LPGA emphasized her multifaceted appeal and the importance of giving athletes platforms to lead conversations. This move wasn't just promotional, it was visionary, showing what's possible when you treat athletes as influential figures beyond their sport.
I mean, it's not even something you're really ever aware of, breaking records or, it's just something that comes with playing the game the right way. I feel like I just come out here and try to play basketball in a way that people love watching, in a way that is going to make my team successful. And the records and whatever, or the stats, that's just what comes with it.
And finally, number 12, the power of mentorship. All throughout the run-up to the event, Clark was featured with her coach, sharing high praises about her and sharing insights about what makes her great.
She said, for Caitlin, she is absolutely nuts about the game. She loves to pound drivers. She just wants to get up there and kill it. She said, I was most impressed with Caitlin's ability to make adjustments so quickly, that slice that she was so worried about diminished pretty quickly by the time they got driver back in her hand.
Doesn't it remind you of Clark's legendary coach at Iowa?
Who would have thought that all those years ago, back in Des Moines, Iowa, that this would be the case right now? We knew what we had in Caitlin back in Iowa City, and we knew the attention that she was bringing around the Big Ten and in collegiate basketball. But I didn't know how that was going to transcend into the WNBA. And obviously we can see that it's done pretty darn well, and people are excited to see her play at every level.
Contrast this to her ex-coach, Christy Sides, who, for the better half of the season, either complained about her or refused to recognize her greatness. Only once the team started winning did she start giving Clark her flowers. Maybe Clark should have taken her professional golfer jokes seriously after all. As we've seen, the LPGA's handling of Caitlin Clark's crossover appearance was a masterclass in recognizing and leveraging star power. From the big announcement to strategic player pairings, a social media blitz, immersive fan experiences, TV coverage, and high praise from peers, the LPGA showcased how to maximize the impact of a standout athlete. They capped it off with her participation in the Women's Leadership Summit, positioning Clark as not just an athlete, but a leader with influence that transcends sports.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the FIBA rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
On the other side, the WNBA's approach to Clark's record-setting rookie season seemed almost passive by comparison. The lack of high-profile promotions, limited social media engagement, and absence of strategic moves to build her profile reflected a league still learning how to spotlight its stars effectively. And while the WNBA's challenges go beyond marketing, their inability to seize opportunities like Clark's breakout year contributes to their struggles, both in public perception and financially. The LPGA's success serves as a reminder that running a professional league isn't just about showcasing talent on the field or court. It's about building moments that resonate with audiences and create lasting impressions. The WNBA has a lot to do, but to grow and thrive, it must learn from the LPGA's playbook on how to turn star athletes into ambassadors for the league and the sport itself. So, what's next for the WNBA? Will they recognize the value of their star power and use it to boost the league? Or will they let history repeat itself? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.